Welcome out to the Next.Stop Wildlife Show. We're out at Nurragingy and this is our local park, and there's a plethora of different animals down here, and there's what I like to call Nurragingy's Big Five, and that is the Azure kingfisher, the sacred kingfisher, and plenty of red-bellied black snakes, the Pacific baza, and last of all, got to include the lace monitor. So they're the big five. We're going to go searching on the Cumberland Plains, and this is one of the best places in Sydney. Western Sydney Parklands tracks, and it goes all the way from Quakers Hill up to the Blue Mountains, and we're standing on Snake Alley at the moment. So we'll start the walk at Snake Alley and see what we can spot on today's next stop. So come up here and see what we can find, guys. It's a mad little spot out here, and this leads us out this way to Snake Alley. Snake Alley, one of the best places to find snakes, obviously, in the Cumberland and the Western Sydney Parklands. So join me, Caveman Keys, on the walk today and see what we can spot. First stop on the walk today, beautiful red-bellied black snake, one of the most misunderstood animals in the Aussie bush. They've never actually caused any deaths, and they're a very placid snake. They're hardly ever known to bite. So as long as you give them a wide berth, they're quite a beautiful snake. They just want their food of frogs and skinks, and they'll sit there down by the creek beds and wait to hunt the frogs and skinks. So they're not interested in us at all. And I quite often see them on the tracks or out in the open so that they can get the best sunlight without getting any filtered shade or the grasses blocking the sunlight. So amazing animal, a good thick specimen this one. So a bit of a ripper first stop, down by the long pond where the log is, the world famous log of Nurragingy. Nice solid specimen of a snake, and is pretty much at ease with me. Might leave him alone and head out to the next stop. Okay, we're standing at the start of the entrance to Snake Alley, and behind us we've got the Colby Centre and the Wedding Gardens. So we'll venture up this way, and on the right there's a lot of Azure kingfishers, and of course there's a lot of snakes along this section at Snake Alley. Off we go for our walk. Oh, you wouldn't believe it. Straight away, nothing says Snake Alley, welcome to Snake Alley, like this. Beautiful red belly, sunning himself on the track. As you can see, I don't mind taking refuge on the track, getting a little bit of sun. Oh, and straight away, here's a larger, another red belly. Pretty solid, thick snake as well. Oh, he must be up near 2 meters long. Just amazed me the way that they move. And it looks like he might have just recently shed too, because those vibrant reds all down the sides and the belly, and that sheen off the scales, definitely would have shed just recently. The colours are definitely at their most vibrant just after they've shed. And this is a very active time of the year for the snakes in general, because they'll go into brumation very shortly, probably within a month or two, when the weather starts to turn. That's the time when they need to fatten up the most to make it through that brumation period. So they may come out during winter as well to feed if they're hungry. And the long pond is on the right here with another target species. And almost immediately we spot our target species, the Azure kingfisher, one of the tiniest kingfishers in Australia. From memory, I think it's the second smallest beside the little kingfisher, and they're an aquatic hunter. Seen here in one of the favourite ambush positions, on a small dead stump close to the water, and they rarely get higher than 6 foot out of the water. They like to stay very low on these branches, get a good view into the water, and they'll line up these fish underneath the water, and they absolutely bomb down. And you see them, they can launch themselves down into the water when they see something just like that. And as he returns to his log with a prize of a mosquito fish by the looks of it, it's massive. And after stunning his prey, he gets that whole mosquito fish down. Very efficient hunter, these little guys, and it's probably why they cough up a lot of pellets. And the pellets are the excess bones and other things that they can't digest, which come out in a sack. And it's quite a frequent occurrence. And you can see him here, he's about to cough up one of the pellets. And there it is, just landing on the log. And that'll be full of little bones and other things that he can't digest. So, very amazing little bird. And birds of prey and other birds do a similar thing. So if you see those little pellets, when they cough it up, they're not sick, it's just extracting all of the undigestible particles out of the food. So we might head off and find out what we got on our next stop, and leave this guy off to his hunting out on the Cumberland Plains for mosquito fish, guppies, and even little baby eels. On the next stop, I thought I'd bring you something a little bit different, and this looks like one of the golden skimmer dragonflies, and he's in the process of eating at the moment, and it seems to be a small moth, and it's one of the small moths that I see quite often out here on the Cumberland Plains. Just wanted to bring you a bit of footage and show you how they eat and how voraciously they actually eat and their appetite. They like to feed on mosquitoes, moths and other small insects, such keeping the balance of insects just right. Without these guys, our houses even would be overrun with insects and mosquitoes. So they do an amazing job, and they'll chew away at the abdomen section, and they'll discard the wing area because containing a powder, and it's got very little nutrients, so they'll discard that wing section of the moth. And it's very rare to see these guys sit in the one spot for a long period of time like this, unless they're eating. You can see them just discarding those unwanted wings from the moth there. They get through their food quite voraciously, as you see here. And as he gets to the end of his feed, we might leave him on his devices, and that's why we should all love dragonflies, because without them, honestly, it would be a nightmare. The world would be full of mosquitoes. So that's how delicate the ecosystem is out in the west. I filmed a red-bellied just yesterday down here in the grass right next to the road, and today, right up here, I found a lace monitor, juvenile. And he's just up this tree here. And it's really important when you head down the local reserves and parklands or national parks that you really keep an eye out for the fauna that's around the park. The animals like this lace monitor here. Right near the road, you can see he's in the tree next to the road. So he's easy fare for a car that's going any faster than 10 kilometres an hour. And I'd suggest, with so many of these beautiful animals around, that we take care on the roads so that these don't become casualties. They're one of our iconic predators of the Cumberland, the lace monitor. Some amazing colorations too. And the armoured scales of this animal make it immune to the brown snake venom. And they're without peer. A fully grown adult lace monitor of 2 metres or so, it doesn't have any predation whatsoever. Even a large wedge-tail eagle will definitely have problems with a full-grown lace monitor. And out into the clearing, From the bushes comes another predator, the eastern brown snake. Little does he know, the monitor is in the tree and he could be the monitor's breakfast. The predator can sometimes become the prey out on the Cumberland, and you'd think this guy's without peer the second deadliest snake in the world. But the lace monitor, overlooking the clearing, the young lace monitor up the tree, he sees the brown snake down on the ground, senses the movement. He's quite small, he's only a juvenile, this guy, but I wouldn't put it past him to take on the brown snake. Brown snake's quite large, coming up close to 2 metres, this brown snake. It's quite a large eastern brown snake. But these guys are renowned for feeding on brown snakes. They're a scavenger as well. They like to spend a lot of time scavenging around the ground for any carrion, dead animals on the ground. It's such a spectacular coloration. This guy's just a juvenile, so I think he'll leave the brown snake alone till he's older. But in an unexpected twist, the lace monitor, the juvenile, he started to come down the tree, and you can see the brown snake is definitely moving away from the lace monitor that's coming down the tree, and he's licking the air. Both of them are. They both have the Jacobson's organ, which can sense all of the dust particles and everything, and they definitely know that something's going on. The hunt's on, and this guy is the prey. He may be the second most deadly snake in the world, but he's in trouble. Drawn by instinct, the young lace monitor proceeds to follow the eastern brown snake into the bushes, and his skin may not be tough enough to withstand the bite of the brown snake at this age. The brown snakes have quite small fangs and they're quite fine, so on an adult there's no way it can pierce through the armour scales on a lace monitor. But at one this age, it's going to be one hell of a tussle if these two come together. Whilst the monitor may have excellent tracking skills and the Jacobson's organ to pinpoint accuracy exactly where his prey is, the eastern brown snake, it's taken off like a rocket, and I think this guy is out of luck. He's still sniffing around, and he can smell and sense the brown snake has come through this way. But I've seen the brown snake, it took off like an absolute rocket. Wasn't going to take its chances, even with a juvenile lace monitor. The consequences would be dire. And I think this guy's given up too, so we might head off and find out what we got on our next stop. Azure kingfishers, sacred kingfishers, and we've got lace monitors, there's red-bellied black snakes, and of course the Pacific baza in numbers. So get out there, check it out. It's not bad, is it? As we look skyward, we've got a dog fight on, and this is Pacific baza versus square-tailed kite. The Pacific baza, they own this park, and lately the square-tailed kites have been moving in. So the smaller ones are the baza, and the larger ones, they're the square-tailed kites. And whilst the kites have got size, the baza, they've got manoeuvrability, the way they fly. This actually looks like 3 square-tailed kites here. You can see the square tail, just amazing. And these birds of prey are extremely territorial, so it's always a battle for dominance and for territory. Oh, you can see that. The baza just went in hard at one of the square-tailed kites, protecting his territory. And here he is, just landed back down in the tree. It's only one of the juvenile Pacific bazas too, and they're very prevalent down at Nurragingy Reserve too. We have such a large amount of phasmids, or stick insects, and they're always on the lookout for a phasmid, these guys. They have the most amazing eyes and coloration, one of my favourite birds of prey. And we've had the pleasure of filming a real lot of these guys this year. And as he perches high above the tree, his telescopic vision catches something. It's a phasmid on the ground. And this guy is a beautiful orange-winged phasmid, and that's what he's got his eye on. So this guy will no doubt be breakfast. From the treetops, she spotted him, and in the blink of an eye, she strikes. And she rarely misses. The stick insect is now a part of the greater ecosystem. Every animal in the ecosystem is expendable and is food for another. Only the very top predators are safe in this beautiful world that can be harsh and brutal. But it's the way that the ecosystem works, and it's the way that everything keeps in balance. These guys are amazing. The Pacific buzzer, one of the most beautiful birds of prey that we have, and they have some amazing habits. They can mimic frog calls, and then they'll listen to the reply and zero in on where the frog is. So he's finished his stick insect now, the phasmid, and he'll no doubt be on the hunt for some more prey. And that brings us to the next stop, which is one of our less threatening species, and it's one of our tiny little wrens. And this is actually a male superb fairy wren. They lose all of those colours around the head when they're out of breeding season, but you can tell it's a male because the tail is still very blue, unlike the female. So in the breeding season, you can see another male there. They'll be in competition for this area. They're very territorial. So yeah, definitely like a different bird when out of breeding season. The colours of this guy in breeding season are just like this. You can notice just here the coloration in breeding season is just totally different. Check out the brightness of the same bird in the breeding plumage. So this only happens during the breeding time, and then they'll lose all of these beautiful iridescent colours, and they'll be all patchy, little bits of blue flecks, and eventually they'll just turn completely grey and have the blue tail. So amazing transformation, and that's his little angry face. So we'll head to the next stop. And here on the next stop we have another predatory bird, and this is the black-shouldered kite, and he's absolutely getting rings of run around him by a little willy wagtail. They're tenacious, and it just goes to show even the predatory birds are not safe from these little tenacious birds like the willy wagtail. And he's back again, causing vengeance, causing chaos with this poor bird. And they just don't give up, willy wagtails. But that's nature, and that's what it takes to survive in the big wild world of Australia. So with that, we'll get out of here and leave these guys for the survival of the fittest in the Australian bush. Okay guys, what a wicked day that was, and always something interesting on the Cumberland Plains. And I hope you enjoyed some of the information today about the Azure kingfishers and seeing them cough up those pellets and how they feed on the small fish, and the Pacific baza. So many interesting things. So if you want a really good day out, Nurragingy and the pond systems, you'll find a hell of a lot of beautiful Azure kingfishers. So last stop for the day, let's get out of here and see what we can spot on the next stop. Hey, stop throwing things in the water, mate.